I just wanted to say my opinion about Nilah, Joy Unbound. Now I know she's still on PB and it might be subject of change, but this champion is actually broken. Like, she has two passive effects. The problem is the first one is broken and Mordekaiser was reworked for a reason, right? He has the similar passive, right? So, here's the thing. Her passive works well with enchanters in general, users that can heal or shield, but here's the thing. It's not necessary that you play her on bot lane, because it's really likely that her early game will be strong. So let's look at this map, for example, right? This actually opens up some unhealthy funneling strategies, which means that someone really gonna have on fun. So just gonna say an example, right? Let's open up Epic Pen, right? Epic Pen is opening. So, oh Jesus, I think I froze it by clicking on it. I hope I didn't. Okay. So, oh, here it is, right? So, say your jungler full clears, right? Since I'm not sure if her early game is strong or weak, most likely it's gonna be strong. You can rotate for scuttle crabs, pick up scuttle, you know, but sometimes there is the top laner to rotate for it, right? So let's say hypothetically your jungler gets his whole top side and bot side and gets a scuttle as well, right? And then you can play either top lane or mid lane this champion. Most likely she will be viable, I'm not sure. But her passive, as I said, open up some unhealthy funneling strats. Because here's the thing. He's gonna come mid lane. If he can't gank anything else, he's just gonna come mid lane or top lane, depends wherever you are. Then he will help you to push the wave. Not last it, just help you to push the wave. Which means that the champion that was there, the jungler, gonna share XP with you, right? But he gonna get the full value, which means that he will be ahead on the XP curve over the enemy jungler. And what does that mean? He will get level 6 faster, he will get his levels faster, and if an Olaf gets level 6 faster than a, I don't know what kind of jungler, he's always allowed to invade him alone, right? Because nobody can realistically face a level 6 Olaf, right? Same as a Volibear gets level 6 faster than the enemy jungler, which again open up some dive opportunities, right? And also that can pressure a lot, since being level 6 is Hecarim as well earlier than you should be, or a Nocturne can be surprising for solo queue players. If a Nocturne gets level 6 faster just because Nilah shared the XP, that will surprise most of the players, which will actually lead into some ganks which people won't even expect. Then that's like already a thing that's broken, honestly, and I don't like Zilean already exists, but I think it's less broken than this one. Then of course she has her enchanter passive, and attacks and abilities. The attack and ability damage against champions ignore some of their armor and heal. Nilah for part of damage dealt. This effect scales with crit chance and can overheal, granting Nilah a shield. Ignores armor, can heal as well, gives a shield, makes her a bit, and it has an, wait, this is just only the passive effect. Nilah strikes in a line, damaging all enemies hit. Hitting an enemy increases Nilah's attack range and attack speed for a few seconds. Additionally, her basic attacks will flash in a cone, dealing additional damage. So might be this champion can be builded with little tempo, I'm not sure. For even more range, Nilah envelopes herself in mist, causing her to briefly gain movement speed, reduce incoming damage, and dodge all incoming projectiles, or what is that? Attacks! Not even projectiles, attacks in general, then what the fuck? It's not even like a Yasuo W or Samira W, like there are some projectiles and there are some lasers, if I can call them that way. Touching an ally champion hides them in a mist, granting them the hold up. This sounds kinda illegal. I mean, even if it's for the half of duration, it sounds kinda illegal, because then you're simply countering as an AD carry. You provide peel for your support, so you're something like Kalista a little bit, but better in a way. So we have a broken passive. Oh wait, fuck, wrong one. How do I... Eve gives extra XP for bot laners slash like this will be fun. There will be some disgusting funnel strat and everybody will hate it. Just trust me on this one. Cause as I said, if the jungler doesn't have to be anything better to do, he can soak the XP from mid and top lane, which as I said before, will give them level 6 faster, which means he can invade, which means that he can secure objectives before the enemy champion, right? Like it just opens up so many opportunities to actually do, right? Now what else? Her Q removes armor, which is already bad, and heals her. So her Q removes armor, ignores armor, not removes, right? It just ignores them. It's a bit different than armor. And Nilah heals for the part of the identity scales with crit chance and overheal. So she'll be a crit champion, right? I mean, it scales with crit chance and can also overheal, right? Which makes her a bit really strong in some longer... maybe people will actually build like cooldown on her. So it does ignore armor to some degree, scales and can overheal, granting her a shield, so she also gets a shield. So, let's see. Now the shield is not so concerning if you are facing a poking support, because if you can't overheal you won't get a shield, so it's not that bad, I assume. Nilah strikes in a line, damaging all enemies. Hitting an enemy increases Nilah attack range and attack speed for a few seconds. Additionally, her basic attacks will splash and in a cone, dealing additional damage. So she has AoE damage. Does that work with rounds, hurricane, or with titanic, or how does that? So she has like a... It does splash, but does the splash apply on hit effects? We don't know yet, right? So she has like AoE auto attacks, I assume. Auto attacks. I mean, these things are already too strong, you know? Like the passive effect, two-sided. Q has two sides as well, right? These are already strong, but we don't know the numbers yet, right? We know that they look to be really strong. Now, Jubilant, well, let's see this. Nilah envelops herself in mist, causing her... Oh yes, W. W Gwen W, but a bit... Also you dodge auto attacks, which is a bit better, so it's a Gwen Jax W. So Gwen plus Jax, but it's like a Zhonye. It's almost like a Zhonye then. Envelops herself in mist, causing her to briefly gain movements, and she also gets speed, which... Or reduces incoming magic damage, So the magic damage is reduced, but not but the auto attacks are parried, right? So it's not really like a Gwen W. Irelia W then. It's, yeah, like we can say that way. And it also provides mobility. Oh, sounds like another overtuned champion, right? But we don't know yet. We don't know the numbers, right? Or maybe it's on PB already. I think it's on PB already. So the magic damage is reduced and dodges all incoming attack, touching ally champions, hides them in the mist, granting them bonus effects for the half of duration. Sounds to be a bit strong. I'm not sure how much does this last, but it sounds to be a bit strong. Because it allows your carries to disengage as well. I don't know. It just provides like an AD carry. It's not really the identity of an AD carry to provide so much peeling power for your ally champions. Same as your ultimate can peel them to some degree because it's like a Diana ultimate. Her ult is like a Diana or, but let's talk about the E. So we get an idea about it, that's why I made this little paint representation. Nilah dashes through a target unit, damaging all enemy she passes through. Nilah can hold 2 charges of... Oh! Why do we have 2 of these? Nilah can cast Formless Blade Q during split stream to pull a wave in her path, dealing damage and activating her empowered attacks. Nilah can cast Formless Blade Q during slipstream. Also during your Q animation you can cancel it with your E, I assume. You dash through a unit. So it's like a samurai, you dash through someone if they are closer to you, but if they are at the maximum range you dash to the target and not through it. It has some synergy with the Taric because you can legit like E with Taric, she is in, then the stun will most likely connect if you time it well, if they don't have some type of knockback. That sounds kinda strong. Oh, but why does this have so many parts? Nilah swings her weapon in an area around her, dealing damage and pulling enemies towards the center. With the final burst, this damage heals Nilah for a portion of the damage dealt, converting excess healing into a shield. The healing and the shielding scales with criticals. Oh. So Serpent's Fang is a counter to this champion and anti-heal, right? Serpent's Fang anti-heal ideally. But Serpent's Fang got a bit nerfed recently. While some players might be tempted to try Nilah another lane or jungle, her kit is really rewards playing, yeah. This is more simple then. Everything scales with crit, so I assume this champion will be most likely played with a crit build. Most likely, right? It's like a Diana R, right? We already typed the information. E is just a dash, but it has 2 parts. Ult is a Diana R, but a bit different. So like basically this is how the champion works, right? Simply said, this champion most likely will build Essence River, Shield Bow or Kraken or Gale Force are not necessarily bad crit mythics. I don't assume Lethality mythics will be ever good on her because she scales so well with crit. In general, then your like usually as I assume, your first item should be Shield Bow, Kraken ideally, Gale Force maybe, I'm not quite sure yet. Champion hasn't been released. Then you can go Essence River, Phantom Dancer, Lord Dominic's. These are the things on my mind that could be played on her. Depends what you are lacking. Then third item, most likely Infinity, Dead Dance, maybe Dead Dance, or Bloodthirster I assume. Maybe there's a word where you don't go, you go for Bloodthirster to be more stat checky, or Infinity. And but yeah, we don't know yet exactly. It could be anything, right? It's just like my opinion about Nilah, the new champion.